Spinning, I'm spinning, spinning. I'm spinning again. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Kristan Johnson. You're now tuned in to KJ Live. Today's guest on the show, former NBA player and current UMass assistant college basketball coach, Tyson Wheeler, will be joining us shortly. He's joining from another account, so we are going to wait for Tyson. Really excited to talk to Tyson. He is a March Madness hero, has indeed played in an Elite Eight with the University of Rhode Island. He was part of one of the most dominant backcourts that we've ever seen in NCAA history. Tyson and Katino Mobley, two lefties, shifty, handle, jumper, can get anywhere they wanted on the floor. Those two were two of my favorites to watch on ESPN, and whenever they were on television. Tyson Wheeler is joining the show, my teammate from our CBA days. The CBA, I believe this is Tyson's. Okay, so he's joining right here with his daughter's thing because he does not have IG. Okay. Oh, it says unable to join. So I think Tiara has to upgrade her app, or if you're on the computer, Tyson, we won't be able to join. She has to do it from the phone. So if you could either upgrade the app or join from the phone, I think our situation will be remedied pretty quickly here. Let's get Tyson on the phone so we can hear about what's going on. Sorry about this, guys.
Yeah, we're on the computer.
Yes, you're on the computer, so we might need you to be on the phone, huh? Makes sense, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyson Wheeler, ladies and gentlemen, my guy, my brother from another mother, light skin coalition is in the building. Curly tops all day, every day. Let's see if we can get you. Hold on, let's. Oh, we will have some here. We got some Tyson Wheeler up in here. We got some Tyson Wheeler. Yo, what's good?
The technology is not working. Sorry, my friends and people.
No, we good. Look, it's quick. We make moves very quickly around these parts. We figured out Twitter was not popping, and then we just jumped over to IG real fast. Man, thank you for joining the show.
Appreciate you having me.
Tyson, just talk about March Madness, about, not March Madness, this season, COVID, how that affected you as a college basketball coach. Let's just jump right into it.
Ooh. Well, I'll tell you what, we were all planning to play at the Mohegan Sun, UMass. We had some competitions and great teams that we were going to play. In the week before we were about to start, like 5 of our guys got COVID. So we had to shut that down. So we went on pause like 3 or 4 times this year. And it was frustrating because, we worked hard in the preseason when we got back.
Yeah.
We were getting ready.
Yeah.
And they shut us down. So it's tough.
So what was that like, Tyson, being shut down, restarting, shut down? Was there a lot of dissipation? Did you guys lose conditioning? I mean, what type of things were you doing as a coaching staff to help maintain guys being ready to play? It's just such a weird situation, huh?
Right. Definitely. We were quarantined in the hotel room. So we couldn't even do anything.
No Zoom workouts or nothing?
No, they did Zoom workouts with our trainer. I don't know what those are like, but a lot of push-ups, a lot of sit-ups on their own.
I don't know what those are like. Yeah. But the mindset of the kids, the mindset of the young men, excuse me, they're not kids anymore. The mindset of the young men, talk about their perseverance, their, resilience during these really weird, tough times.
I mean, they were great. When we went on pause, they followed protocol. When we got back to practice, they worked hard. They did everything we asked. It was frustrating for them. No kids on campus. They were stuck in a hotel room.
Yeah.
Then we had to come back to practice. We ran in a bubble, a football bubble, try to get them back in shape, doing defensive slides. I thought it was 5-star camp again. Trying to get them right. So, but the kids were great all year. On all our pauses, they followed protocol. They took tests when they're supposed to, and we finally got to play some.
And let's rewind a little bit. So UMass is your second stop on your college basketball coaching resume. Talk about the first stop, how you transitioned into coaching at Fairfield University.
Yep. So I was at Fairfield for 10 years under Ed Cooley, who's now a head coach at Providence. He was my Dobo.
I didn't even know. I did not know this, dog.
Yeah, there you go.
You was rocking with Ed Cooley. I love me some Ed Cooley, bro. Okay.
Yeah, that's my guy. So when I was a junior at Rhode Island, that was Ed Cooley's first real, coaching job. Wow. And he was like my strength and conditioning guy.
Word.
Make sure I was in class. So he was like doing all the dirty work.
Yeah.
So when I was done playing, he came to my house like, Tyson, I got a Dobo spot for you. So I was like, I can't hoop anymore. I wasn't getting paid like I was before because I got hurt.
Yeah.
So I said, I got to take this job. I got to put food on the table. You know what I'm saying? So he gave me my opportunity. And then I worked for Sidney Johnson, who I'm sure you know very well who he is.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for bringing it up. Anytime those names are brought up from that 1996 Princeton team that upset us, I get chills and shit. I'd be like, oh, man.
Yeah. Great guy. So I worked with him for 8 years.
Yeah.
And then the last 2 years I was at UMass with Matt McCall.
Let's look at the chat. We have Diesel Films, my guy Shapiro. He's a big Tyson Wheeler fan. He's talking about you versus Damon Stoudemire at the Providence CC or whatever.
Yep. Yep.
Talk about that matchup since we got Seth on. Just what was up with that? How are you feeling?
What's up, baby? Oh, I mean, I was a freshman at that point, and I was so excited because Damon Stoudemire is obviously one of my idols. A lefty point guard, small like myself, and I was excited to play against him. And I wanted to get a name. And I knew that it was going to be a tough task to go against Damon Stoudemire. He was one of the best in the country at the time.
Word.
He was going to be a top 10 pick in the draft at 5'10". So, I looked up to him. But once the ball went up, it was compete time. You know what I'm saying?
What you end up with?
What
you finish with?
I had like 16 and 6.
Nice.
Like
Freshman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I was trying to go at it. But, the good thing is I didn't have to guard him. I guarded Reggie Geary, and Coutinho was guarding Damon.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Well, that's why you had 16. I get it now. Okay. All right.
Damon was guarding me, but I wasn't guarding him, so he couldn't go back at me. So I was very fortunate for that to happen.
And Damon Stoudemire will be on the show on Wednesday, 12:30. I'll be sitting down talking about what he was thinking about playing against you as well, Tyson.
Okay.
So let's take it back, though. Let's take it back to the end of your professional career. Talk about the last stop that you were at and how that went as a pro.
Okay, so my last stop I was in Romania.
Wow. What part?
Ploiești. I guess that was the name of the team.
Is Transylvania in Romania too, or?
I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Oh, don't do that. Nah. So I was in Romania, and it was the last stop, and I knew I was done. I stayed there for like 2.5 months. I wasn't accustomed to not having a car.
Oh, no whip? No whip?
No whip. So it was bad.
Janky deal, bro. Who's your agent, bro? I'm not rolling.
The players didn't have whips.
Oh. So how y'all get around?
Taxi. We had to take a taxi to practice.
Did you get a taxi allowance? Because I had a taxi allowance written into my deal, like $500 a month, bro, and I was using that for other things. So did you get a taxi allowance, bro?
I don't remember. I doubt it. You got a great agent.
Yeah. No, I was my agent. I wasn't playing. I was always threatened to leave. Always drop 40 and then threaten to leave. I'm out of here. I'm about to leave, dog. Whatever. Right. I need a new TV.
Give me an American DVD player. I need that.
Exactly. Oh, no. So, okay. So Romania. And then before Romania, where were you? Well, how about this? Let's talk about your Italian experience.
Okay.
Talk about just the difference in the Italian league, and you competed on the highest levels of American professional basketball. Mm-hmm. Just talk about the difference there against America.
Italian league was top notch. I thought one of the best places I played in Europe. The league was tough. I mean, I had to go against Tyson. He was the top.
How was
team
that?
over there.
And how was that? How was that?
Oh, it was tough. I remember one of one of my teammates when we were about to play him in the Super Cup was like, "Oh, you got to go against Tyson. You better put your bootstraps on, baby, because he's coming at you."
Get a good nice rest, huh?
Yeah. So he was gonna come at me, and I knew that, and we had kind of like a bond because he was with Coach Herrick, and I played for Coach Herrick, so I knew him a little bit, and he was a legend in Europe. He really paved the way and David Rivers for small guards.
Yes, I have a great David Rivers kind of story experience when I was in Turkey. in I think 1999. I think David Rivers, Rashard Griffith were over there, and they were
Yep.
making like 500 million racks a year,
Yep.
500 SEL bins pushing, living the life, billboards in Turkish. It was a
Yes.
brother. They had a brother on a billboard in Turkey. That's how big David Rivers, Notre Dame fame, Los Angeles Lakers,
Yes.
David Rivers. Don't get it
Yes.
twisted. Yeah, no. So you came in. You were there during a time when they were paying guys big money at the guard. When the guy that can get wherever he needed to go at any point of the game, that
Yep.
was the most valuable asset. Talk about just that era of basketball for you as the game kind of shifted. It's not as much about that anymore as it is about knocking down threes. Did you notice or undergo any of that sort of shift when you were overseas, or was that a little later?
I mean, I just always played the way I played. You know, I would shoot a lot of threes or drive to the basket. So I was accustomed to playing that way. I wish I came up in this era because that's all they do now, shoot threes or get to the basket.
Yeah.
I didn't really have a mid-range game, so I would have fit in perfectly. Now everybody hates the mid-range game. So, But again, I played in Turkey against David Rivers and Rashard Griffith, and Rashard was actually my teammate in Romania. He was the only dude who had a car.
You see, yo, he ain't making sure that big fella got a car.
He had a car over there, so he was living big. So
And you played for Fenerbahce in Turkey?
Fenerbahce, yep.
Yeah, the renowned soccer club, and also pretty good in basketball.
Yeah.
As well. That's
playoffs at the time.
Okay.
So
did you win? Y'all win it?
We lost to David Rivers in the semifinals.
Did the ref cheat? Did the ref cheat?
Of course.
Okay, just making sure.
Of course.
Were they smoking cigarettes in the building?
Yeah, in the locker room as well.
Talk about that shit.
Yo, at halftime, my teammates were smoking cigarettes. and that was my first stop overseas. So after that, I didn't want to go back overseas because I thought it was like that everywhere.
Yo, it was the wildest experience I had ever had. I think I was playing against Art Lee and the big Russian from George Washington. I can't remember.
Alexander Cool.
Thank you. So we played against them. We were in some far out gym somewhere in rural Turkey. I walk in the gym and there's like a film of just like smoke. It was like wake and bake all day in there, but it's cigarette smoke. I'm just like, what the is going on around here? Like cigarette smoke in the gym, and then dudes obviously were doing what they did. It was a rude awakening for me, and then it kind of just gave me this false sense of, well, I guess I can go hang out and I can be drinking and stuff. Oh no, Chris, they telling on you, and there's a double standard that exists, and I had to find out the hard way. I had to find out the hard way, bro. I had to find out the hard way. Oh, but Tyson, so let's talk about just the NBA experience. We touched on Italy. We touched on Turkey. The NBA experience. Break it down to that feeling of when the way you felt when you got drafted.
Yeah, I was very excited. I was actually playing in a summer league in Hartford, Connecticut, and Marcus Camby was there on draft day. And the draft hadn't started yet, but Marcus Camby was talking to me. He's like, Tyson, they're drafting you with Toronto in the second round. And that's when Marcus was on Toronto. So I was all excited.
Yeah.
We grew up together and played against each other. Yeah. So when he told me that, I was like, there's no way I'm getting drafted. I didn't even want to watch the draft because I didn't think I was getting drafted. And I get home in the second round, the start of the second round, and I happen to hear my name. Now I'm jumping around going crazy because I'm like, I'm a 5'10" kid from New London, Connecticut. Wow. Got drafted to the NBA, one of the top 60 players, and I couldn't believe it. So all you need is one team to like you. And so then I got traded.
Okay, so who drafted you, and where did you get traded?
Toronto Raptors drafted me.
Okay, and then you got traded to?
The Denver Nuggets.
Okay. Did the lockout happen your rookie year?
That's when it happened, yeah.
Talk about that. Talk about how that messed the stuff up for you.
Ooh. So after the draft, I went to Toronto for like a little mini camp. Jerry McCullough was there, killing me. So I'm thinking I got drafted, and I was like, I'm good. Jerry McCullough was going at my throat. So he was on the little mini camp, but then after that, the lockout happened. So for like 2-3 months, I'm just chilling like there's going to be no season.
Oh, you were just no workout, no running, a couple of miles a day, no push-ups in the house, nothing?
I would go play pickup in New York.
Is this a New London, Connecticut thing?
Yeah, man, there's no trains back there.
What are y'all on out there, man? Y'all just hoop.
Weights and all that stuff.
He said I would go play pickup in New York.
Yeah, exactly. Get right.
That's real though.
I was lifting. You know why? Because when I went to the mini camp, they made me lift 185 pounds, like bench. and I did it like 2 times. So I was like, oh, I gotta get stronger. This ain't gonna
Yeah.
work. So I was lifting and stuff like that. But I wasn't prepared for the lockout to end.
Yeah.
And so I got traded to Denver with Chauncey Billups.
It's part of who'd y'all get traded for? You remember?
Tyronn Lue, who went from Denver to the Lakers. I think Bobby Jackson may have went to Denver to somewhere else.
Okay. So, yeah, you're involved in some decent transactions.
I mean, they just needed my little money.
That's
I guess,
a solid trade. No, it's contract. They're matching contracts, obviously.
Yeah.
They're putting in the minimum deal, the rookie minimum. Congratulations on making that, though. That's pretty big time. Must be nice, actually. It must be really, really nice, Tyson. Let's talk about our experience where we now it seemed like we were kindred spirits, but I thought I knew you because I was such a huge fan of you, and you had played for Coach Herrick in college, and so it was like a love there that existed for you already. Let's talk about our CBA experience in Quad City, man. Quad City Thunder, 1999. Okay. Right on the turn of the millennium, me and you were in a small gym, freezing like -2 outside, no visibility, but we were getting it in. Talk about why you ended up in Quad City and the experience of playing in the CBA.
Oh boy! So again, got cut by the Denver Nuggets. I got drafted to Quad City Thunder, right? And so we're out there, we're in the mini camp, and like you said, you and I are in the gym working out. Yeah. We started talking junk. Let's get this one-on-one going. So, you're doing your thing. I'm dribbling all over the place. You're like, yo, will you stop dribbling so much?
We had to shut it down to three dribbles. I had to like, yo, Tyson, we got to play like 2 and 3 dribbles because I couldn't do all that, small quarters, small spaces, jab fake, up fake, one bounce, pull up. That was it.
And then so you went into your bag to let me know that you could handle the ball.
A little
bit. So you're doing all your stuff, and then you get to the rim, and then you got your footwork. That's, Akeem Olajuwon-ish. If people don't know about your footwork. But it was great times. It was a great experience. We were with a lot of great players.
Let's talk about some of them guys, man. I remember Jeff McGinnis played in the league. Jamel Thomas, 5'30". He ended up getting called up. But, like, who else you remember on that team?
We got Derek Hood.
D-Hood.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
Anthony Parker. Who was at Bradley, then went to Maccabi, then came back to the league.
Yeah.
Maceo Baston.
Michigan.
Alvin Sims.
Louisville.
Chris Gardner.
Memphis.
Yeah. I mean, it was big time.
And the craziest part to me, man, there's also Teray Braggs, Mike Njai, Oscar Torres, Corey Carr, first-round draft choice out of the Bulls. When I made that team over Corey Carr, bruh, I was tripped out. Tyson, what do you remember about my game at Quad City? See, everybody remembered me at UCLA as sort of a power forward center. Can you explain to them what I was actually getting off on a professional level against real dudes?
Yo, you were on the wing.
Thank you.
You were on the wing. And you know what? See, what people don't understand, your footwork in the post was really, really good, but your footwork on the perimeter was even better because you had the pump fakes, the jab step, the pump fake, the jab step, and then pull up. And then inside out spins to get into your stuff. People don't know that.
They don't. They don't. It was one of the most competitive basketball situations I'd ever been to, and playing all those one-on-ones in those small towns like La Crosse, Wisconsin, and Sioux Falls, South Dakota. When we track the Raggedy, Grand Rapids, Michigan. I mean, we'd be in gyms all over the Midwest, getting it in. That playing against you, Tyson, gave me confidence just moving on in life to be a 2-guard. To be a lead guard. I can, if I can handle against Tyson and break him down. Because listen, later on in life, I ended up playing against Sham God and J.R. Henderson in the finals of the Asian Championship. They were playing for Saudi Arabia, and it was me and Sham God. And so I used all of our experiences, and I dropped 36 on Sham God that night. I just thought he was you. I'm just like, let me just play like I used to play against Tyson. I'll definitely give him 40. Can I just digress really quickly?
Okay.
But we got to get to the March Madness part of things, man. You and Cuttino Mobley were formed, in my opinion, one of the top 2 or 3 greatest backcourts in the history of NCAA basketball. No doubt about it, man. Talk about Rhode Island. No question, bro. Talk about Rhode Island, okay, playing for Coach Herrick and that special magical run to the Elite Eight in 1998.
Whew. Was it magical, man? I tell you what, the great thing about having Cuttino as a teammate and being partnered up with him, he made you believe that you were one of the best in the country. You know what I mean? Like, I remember on my visit, I met him in a club. He didn't know me from a hole in the wall, and he know I was on a visit, and he's like, "We're gonna be the best 1-2 punch in the country." Now I'm looking at him like, I'm just trying to get this scholarship. I'm from Connecticut. I'm not thinking about the 1-2 punch in the country, but that's how he thought. Like, he always believed he was gonna be an NBA player. So when we went and played against the guys, so we played Murray State first.
Marcus Brown? No, he was older. He's probably younger.
He's older.
Yeah.
We played Murray State. Then we played Kansas in the second round with Paul Pierce, Ryan Roberson,
Rafe
Prince, Lester Earl,
Billy Thomas,
Kenny Gregory.
Please.
So they had a squad, and it was crazy because, like, the first 2 minutes I got 2 fouls, so I had to come out the game. But, you know, in the course of the game, Coach Herrick did a great job of adjusting. You know, we ran the UCLA offense to a T, but he understood that we could take these guys one-on-one. So what Coach Herrick did, he just started letting us clear out 1-4 low.
Oh, yeah. So
I would go, Catino would go, Preston Murphy would go.
Oh, my gosh.
And then it would be just Bake City. They were too big to guard us. And as you see in the tournament now, and it's always been like that, the smaller guards usually get off against bigger schools.
Was Josh King on that team?
Josh King, Cali guy.
So I ended up, just dominating him in the state championship my 2 years. No, I have to always talk about stuff like that. But anyway, so talk about how it was to play for Coach Herrick. He's one of my favorite basketball minds I've ever been around. When I started coaching, Tyson, he gave me this manual, this handbook of like, hey, you got the same thing of look, hey, out of bounds play, sideline out of bounds, ATOs. Yo, all you need is a couple. Hey, talk about Jim Herrick, my man.
First of all, he'll tell you this when he hands you that.
Yeah.
UCLA offense is the only offense.
Of course, is the only offense.
The great thing about Coach Herrick, he changed the way I thought about the game. You know, he wanted me to be more of a point guard and get guys involved, which I did my first three years with Al Skinner. But he wanted me to do it on a higher level to try to get me to the next level. Yeah. You know, so going from playing with him, I had better shot selection, you know, because I would let that thing fly. And he would be like, Tyson, I'm going to pull you out the game if you don't make the right plays first. Yeah. So just having him as a coach, a mentor, he did a great job for my development and my growth.
Absolutely.
But he was a great coach. Myself and Antonio Reynolds Dean, who was on my team, we got to choose the coach. And it was out of Tom Crean and Jim Herrick.
Word? And what put Coach Herrick over Tom Crean?
He coached Tyus Edney, a small guard.
That's real talk.
And then he won a national championship.
Ooh.
So that always helped.
and we were that helps. And we were pulling for you guys. My thing about Coach Herrick was just his organization. He's just a professional basketball coach. I mean, if you really, this guy lives, eats, sleeps, breathes basketball. Yeah. And my first time I was around him as a player, I can just sense there was just a little something different about the way we're doing things over here. Right. And I always had respect. Ultimate respect for Coach Jim Herrick, and that's been all these amazing. We see Toby Bailey join. Let's talk about really quickly Tracy Murray too. Tracy, I'm gonna talk to you in like I talked to Tracy in like 25 minutes. But Tyson, Toby, talk about Toby, the Light Skin Coalition. Where did you first meet Toby, and how did that go?
Oh, so Toby, I got a couple stories about Toby.
Let's hear them, and they better be okay.
All right. So first, we met at the Olympic trials.
Oh, the Olympic
Colorado
Festival.
Springs, right?
Yeah.
So that's where we first met. You know, obviously, everybody knew who Toby Bailey was. He just won a national championship. He's got the good hair. You know, we all wanted curly hair like him. So, you know, it was great.
He's got the good hair. Tyson, let me ask you something real quick, because I always wondered this. As you guys were from everywhere else, and you see a Toby Bailey come in, he had just, balled out in the championship. Were you guys, like, looking at him kind of like, oh, man, I want to go at his head? Or were you guys kind of cool? Or were the light-skinned cats cool and the other guys was kind of I'm just trying to figure out the dynamic.
Toby was cool with me, light-skinned brothers. And I
always.
Got hair too.
And not were other dudes hating?
Of course.
See?
The brothers don't like the light-skinned
See, why they always got to act like that, man? Why they always got to do us light-skinned brothers like this, man? It's a thing that's gone on since the beginning of time.
The beginning of time.
And it's very Talk about the other time you met him.
So then we were on the same team in Chicago,
Okay.
pre-draft camp.
Word.
Now, when I tell you, everybody knew I was going to pass the ball because that's what my bread and butter to get to the league.
Well, you wanted to show that you were a point guard, although you weren't. You wanted to show you're more like an AI combo, but you wanted to show, hey, I can play point guard. Okay, I get it. Go ahead, Tyson.
So Toby and along with everybody, yo, Tyson, give me the ball. I got to get some shots off. Give me the ball. When I tell you, he shot every time he touched it. And I said, Toby, get yours, baby. Just give me my assist. I don't care how many times you score.
Oh, God, that's so funny. Yo. I think Toby was in that mentality, man. There was a time, like, believe it or not, so Toby's nickname is Two Guard. So there's, man, one game, I can't remember who we were playing, but Toby was in a facilitator mode. You know, Toby's a well-rounded player, so he's doing his rebound thing. He's doing his jump in the air and pass, get caught and just throw a dime thing. And then his dad, just like one time out, right? We hear his dad stands up. Tobe, shoot the ball. You're a two guard, Tobe. You're a two guard, Tobe. Everybody was like, Coach, everybody's looking at his dad like, oh, Toby, shoot it. Okay, great. Then also we were like, freeze out on Toby. No, we love Toby. We love Toby Bailey, one of the icons in UCLA basketball history. So you didn't play against him in the ABA?
No. So now to the ABA, we were teammates.
Oh.
LA Stars.
For how long?
Just 1 year.
Where did you guys stay? Talk about that experience. Who was the coach? Where did you stay? Like, I want to know because I was it Paul Westhead? Westfall?
Paul Westhead.
So early in that summer, I tricked off my opportunity with the LA Stars. So Paul Westhead had brought a team from Korea out to LA to go, and we were scrimmaging at this place called Veterans Park. And long story short, Paul Westhead is coaching the team. I ended up, me, my boy DA, we ended up getting to a fight with the Koreans, and it was a big international incident. It was a scene, and I tried to later on in life, hey, coach, you gonna invite me to camp? He's kind of like, crickets, crickets.
Wow.
I know, but I'm sorry. I keep interrupting. I'm sorry, Tyson. This is your interview. I'm sorry.
This is your show.
I need to stop. Go ahead, Tyson. I'll let you finish. Let me see what you got on. Lakers? Okay. And where that your house? Wow, that looks real Blair Witch Project in the back. What's going on?
There's nothing but woods, baby.
That's pretty scary. How do you guys deal with that when it gets dark?
Man, listen. You're all used to the palm trees. So Toby and I were teammates with Ed O'Bannon. Paul Westhead was a coach. We had Kevin Freeman on the team, Curtis Staples, Mark Sanford from Washington. Remember
That's
him?
my dog. That's my dog.
Bucket.
Please.
Bohannon.
Edric Bohannon from Arizona?
Bohannon.
From
Yes.
Arizona?
Big dude.
Of course. That's Tracy Murray era. He know.
So we had a pretty good squad, man, I tell you. And I loved LA. We had practice at 10 o'clock in the morning. I lived on La Tierra Boulevard, right down the street from Magic Johnson Fridays and M&M's.
Oh, you lived in the Azures, them apartments?
Yes.
Wow.
That was like 90210 to me. Me and Mark
That was very
Sanford
solid.
were roommates.
Yeah, our home. Toby didn't grow up far from there. Neither did I. So that's our neighborhood. That's our area where you were at. That's kind of where we grew up, bro.
Okay, Inglewood area, close to.
All that.
Corner. Okay,
all that.
I'm hip. I would say this. Toby, I would see him at practice, and he's from LA, and Ed's from LA area. I never saw him after that. They wouldn't hang out with me. Him, Moose wouldn't hang out with me. I couldn't get no love.
I wonder why they were off of you. Well, let me think. Let's think about it. Was Toby competing for playing time with you at the time? Because that's how he gets. No,
he's a 2. I'm a 1.
And he still was off of you.
Oh,
we're gonna have to talk to Toby about this in
he can't comment right now, so we're on him.
I know. Talk about your other connections to UCLA guys, man, across the line, just through 6 degrees of separation. And this is how the small world of basketball works.
Yeah, so we got Toby Bailey, we got Tyus Edney, we got, I went against Baron Davis in Vegas. Oh. They used to have pickups out there with Joe Abunasar.
Abunasar, yeah.
Abunasar, yep.
Yeah.
Let me see who else. Mitch.
Butler.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Derek Martin was my teammate.
D. Martin.
Yakima, Washington with Bill Bano.
Oh wait, so Wolpert wasn't there? Paul Wolpert wasn't there?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was
Billy Bano. Jeez, Yakima drafted me. So Paul Wolpert was Phil Wolpert's son, who's a major coach, but I never went. They were mad at me because I didn't go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, he couldn't make it.
Sorry, I
So,
was tripping.
well, Jerron Rush actually was on our team in the ABA too.
So I had Jerron on the show, and I was really curious about what his professional performance looked like. Talk a little bit about Jerron, how he was looking as a pro.
Jerron could get buckets when he wanted to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? From what I remember, you know, good wing player. Got to get him into space. He'll get downhill. You know, he can score the ball.
Athleticism, was the athleticism still? Was he still
Yeah.
explosive?
He was young. He's a little bit younger than us. And then the last one, Jelani McCoy, when I was trying out for the Seattle Supersonics.
Okay.
Vin Baker, Patrick Ewing, Gary Payton, Jelani McCoy, Ed Alisma, Shaman Williams, Brent Berry.
Wow, Shamond.
Rashard Lewis.
Ed Alisma from Georgia Tech, dog.
Yes.
Please.
Yo, you won't be surprised how many people we, get to meet because of
I know.
It's
I think
amazing.
that's one of the beauty of us just having experienced so much, man, and traveled and having the opportunity, the blessing to play the game, man. It's these relationships, these friendships, these dudes that you start off by watching them on Big Monday, Big Tuesday, ESPN.
Yep.
And you end up kicking it with them. And so no, I'm serious. You have this thing, man. It's like, man, I've been watching y'all. Like, I be like,
Exactly.
pissed off, cussing y'all out on the TV, loving y'all on the TV. Like, yeah, that's my dog. So when I see y'all, it's nothing but love typically, man. And it just makes it so beautiful, man, the relationship. The other thing I wanted to talk about, though, is kind of how you ended up at Rhode Island. Were you recruited heavily out of high school, or?
Not really. I mean, so my high school coach had the thought of saying, if you're good enough, you'll be found.
Yes.
He didn't send any film. He didn't call for any, to come see me. I wasn't on a big AU program. So I had to do work. I went to 5-star camp where they had like the top players on the East Coast there. Yeah. And I did work there. So Tom Kinchowski, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Shouted me out and gave a lot of people my name.
Wow.
So I got recruited by Long Beach State, Western Michigan, Jacksonville, Fairfield, Rhode Island, and then UConn and Providence came in late when I went against Steve Wojciechowski in the tournament.
Well, did Wojo slap the floor?
No. Yeah, he might have after I crossed him. Yep.
Did you just give Wojo buckets that day or what?
That's how I got myself on the map.
Good job, Tyson. Good job. Wojo gets on my nerves. Shout out to Wojo, but come on, he pissed me off. We used to play Duke down there. This dude, man, them dudes. No, that's dope. That's dope. So, why Rhode Island? Was it Coach Skinner? Was it that relationship with him, or why? Why though?
Well, I visited Long Beach State.
Okay.
What's my man's name? Achille
Jackson.
Jackson was my host.
Achille. Where did he take you?
He just took me on campus. We were chilling.
Okay. Just making sure. The S curl joint.
S curl. What's name was on the team too? James.
Cotton, Shay's brother.
Yep.
Shay will be on the show tomorrow.
Okay. Shout out to Shay. Shout out to James. So I went on a visit there, and I heard them over talking amongst each other. The players saying, "Oh, he's too small." So I was like, "Boom! I'm not coming to Long Beach."
You were that sensitive, Tyson?
Yes.
Wow. Well, yeah, I know. I'm sensitive too. But they called me fat on my visit, and I still showed up.
Well, yeah.
Charles and Cameron made fun of me on my visit, and I still showed up. Those jerks. They made me feel bad, man.
See,
but anyway.
Anyway, so I chose Rhode Island because Al Skinner basically strong-armed me. He's like, "Yo, you need to come here." I was like, "All right." But it was the best opportunity for me to play right away. We had like 6 or 7 freshmen. And it was close to home. It was only 35, 40 minutes. So my wife was my girlfriend at the time, lived right down the road. So that was another factor. I was like, I want to stay close to her.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't going all the way to Long Beach and messing that up. So that was the deciding factor.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I'm glad you're probably happy that you made that move, looking back on it. And then you wouldn't have been a part of one of the greatest top 2 or 3 greatest backcourts in the history of college basketball, which would have deprived all of us of some really good years. Seriously.
I appreciate
you kidding me? Are you kidding me, dude? I wish I had some highlights I could just pull up right now of you just yanking people. It was ludicrous. Let's fast forward to the tournament. Elite Eight matchups, man. We got some really good ones. Who do you like to win it all?
Oh, for this year?
For this year.
That's tough. That's tough. USC is really playing really well. Baylor's playing really well.
Let's talk about Baylor a little bit.
Yeah.
I've seen them a couple of times. What makes them just so doggone tough? Everybody's kind of scared of them. They're saying is the only team that can beat Gonzaga. I want to know why.
I think their size, the athleticism, and the way they play together. They've been together for a while.
Oh, that crew, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and they have some veteran guys, and they're battle ready. But Gonzaga looks really good, man. I tell you that. They're across the board. They got some hoopers.
Yeah, they're deep. They're definitely the deepest team in the country. Have you checked out Michigan at all and the job Juwan's doing out there with Hunter?
Juwan. He's doing a great job. Isn't it funny how people say they couldn't coach?
That was weird. That was really weird. And with Tyson, so let me ask you this: as somebody that has the NBA pedigree, because typically that stigma is placed on cats that spent some time in the league, etc.
Yeah.
What do you think that this whole thing? Oh, they're not grinders. They don't know how to work, and they come down to college and think X, Y, and Z. What do you make of all that as a college basketball assistant coach on the Division I level?
Well, I think it's over-exaggerated, to be honest, where they're trying to make excuses why not to hire them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not give them a chance. I think every coach, even with Coach K, Coach Calipari, they got their chance somewhere, and they had their bumps in the road. So, how long did it take for, like, John Wooden to win a championship?
Like 10 years or 13 years or something crazy.
Right. And I know that's a long time ago, but you can say that about a lot of coaches that have won national championships or just have one national championship, at high programs, like high major programs. So they go through their bumps and bruises as well. Yeah. So how can you just say a guy that came from the NBA can't coach?
Yeah, it's strange. It's strange. There's a lot of it is based on, the people's like have a bad taste from one bad experience. And so they place everybody in the same bucket, just because one NBA guy kind of, screwed up. It's like, oh, you all are the same, kind of stereotyping.
Of course.
I'm not a big fan of it. And I hope we can start to move forward. What you see now is, like Juwan's in there, Leonard Hamilton, Kelvin Sampson. 3 out of the 8 teams have black coaches or coaches that have African American coaches, and so that's an interesting tidbit. I don't know if that's a record or if we've seen that before, but I sure am going to look it up.
Well, I tell you this: I think they had something on Twitter where all the black coaches were playing against each other before the Elite Eight.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, cats get knocked off.
A black coach is going to get knocked off.
Knocked
One of the
off.
teams have to win.
Yeah.
So, so it's hard for them to get to the Final Four because they're playing against each other. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that could be difficult. So it's a crazy stigma.
What do you think is the biggest challenge that faces today's college basketball athlete? Their biggest challenge?
I think the mental aspect of the game. Coming to college coaching when I first got here, I would get on our players about their skill and their development and not understanding the game. And then I could help them with that, watching film, getting on the court, showing them stuff, walking them through stuff, showing them old film of old players to try to emulate what they did. So you have to go about it different ways because kids learn differently.
Yeah.
But there's nothing you can do with a kid's mental in the heat of the moment in a game to change it, to prepare them for that moment. And that was like the biggest challenge for me, trying to figure that out.
Right.
Kids will get in their heads and they'll be done for the rest of the game.
Cooked.
Right. And so I think we're coming up, we played on the, street ball. And if you wanted to stay on the court, you had to be mentally tough to win.
Yeah.
Because dudes are coming for your throat. And if you don't win and you don't compete,
you got to be willing to go there.
You're going to be sitting for the rest of the day. You might as well go home.
Please.
So I think that's the biggest difference, the mental aspect of the game and trying to get into these kids' heads and pour into them to understand, they can do it and they can persevere to be great.
Absolutely. One more question for you, Tyson, then I'm going to let you go. Unfortunately, I know we can do this all day.
We can do it all day.
Of all the memories in your sports career, basketball career, pro, high school, college, what is your favorite?
Probably beating Kansas. That's my biggest. And then
Why? Why was that so big?
because I beat a California guy in fall beer.
I knew. See, you got different motivations. East Coast guys be having different motivations for stuff. You guys.
Yo, you don't see all the guys talking about the Pac-12 right now, all the West Coast guys. Yo, we business nice. We in this league. Yo, all over Twitter and Instagram. They loving it. I know Tracy Murray right now is on there going crazy.
I know, it's dope. It's dope, man.
I met Tracy Murray one time, and he actually knew who I was, and I was so surprised. I was like,
oh, Tracy's a basketball head, man. He does this.
That's Tracy Murray.
Yo, T. Murray, one of the greatest players in the history of California. He does this thing. So it's Kansas, but you were going to say something else. What's the other one?
No. The worst is losing to a California guy in Stanford and Arthur Lee. Oh, that hurt.
I was so disappointed. No, y'all lost to Mark Madsen, dog. I was so disappointed that y'all lost to Mark Madsen, dog. And Mark's probably out there. That's my boy. He follows me on Twitter. Yeah. But me and Mark had I used to go at Stanford's head. I made it real personal. I made everything personal. I used to do scenes from White Man Can't Jump on cats. I used to threaten them with a scene from White Man Can't Jump during a Pac-10 game. Yes. I'm doing my dad's part during the game. I told him I was going to go outside during the game and then come back as if they're going to let me back in. But yo, Tyson, man, look, man, I appreciate the thing. Here's what I have to tell people. So I lost, and I'm going to end on this story. I lost my championship ring.
Yes.
Probably 20 years ago.
In the CBA.
When I was in the CBA, because I think I hurt my back and I was just ready to get out of there. So I just left all my stuff. I just shook the spot. Screw the CBA.
Yo, you left everything.
I didn't care. I wanted to go home. So I get home, and for 20 years, I couldn't find my ring. Or it was probably 15 years, 10, 15 years. 10, 15 I couldn't find the ring, so I just chalked it up. I had the other one, so I didn't have the one the NCAA gave us.
Yeah.
So I'm just chilling, and all of a sudden, I think you had hit me up. I think we were talking, and you're just like, oh, by the way, you hit me with some shit. Oh, by the way, I got your ring. I'm like, my ring? What ring? He's like, your championship ring. I'm like,
I should have sold that thing.
No, man, I've always appreciated that, man. That's one of the most important prized possessions of my life. I put it up now, so I won't lose it again, Tyson. But I've always wanted to thank you publicly for saving that. For saving that, man. That was a big thing, man, because you held on to. I mean, you took care of it, bro. And that's a true friend right there, man. I really appreciate that, brother.
I got you, family. Anytime. So when I come back out to LA, you gotta take me out.
No, I promise I will.
Is M&M still open?
No, shut down. There's other places now, but that's shut down. The M&M's is shut down for sure. It's not there any longer. It's like a real estate spot or something now. But you know what I'm saying. But man, good man. It's good talking to you, brother. And I hope we can do this again. I'd like to bring you back on the show.
Yeah, maybe I'll have an Instagram page by then.
Yeah, maybe you should get your own instead of using your daughter's. I can help you promote it.
Tiara
Wheeler. Shout out to Tiara. But man, thank you for joining, Tyson, and I love you, man, and take care. All right, brother. I'll talk to you later.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Right,
Ladies and gentlemen, Tyson Wheeler.